one of my biggest issues for the longest time, and I think this is the number one enemy against traders like you and me, just trying to make money. The number one issue a trader goes through, the number one thing is his need to be right. This was the biggest issue for me, right? The need to be correct kills more traders' hopes and dreams than any other mistake, any other behavior, any strategy, right? The need to be right keeps you from making the right decision every single time, right? You can have two, because let's think about it, right? Trading is all about probabilities, right? A lot of people say that, but they don't really understand what that means. So let's break it down. Probabilities means there is a chance, there's a higher chance of one thing happening over another. That means it's higher probable, right? It's more probable if there's a higher chance of one thing happening over another. Nowhere in that definition does it say a higher probability means it's going to happen or that it's certain, right? There's no certainty. There's nothing about it that is guaranteed, right? It's higher probability, meaning it's more likely. It's not saying it's going to happen, right? So that's our whole strategy. That's our whole game plan. That's our job every single day, is to spot higher probability setups, higher probable, right? Nowhere in that sentence or any context is that relating to the fact that it's going and must happen. I can't say this enough, guys. This robbed me for so many years. It robbed me over and over and over again. And until you can learn to look at the market in the correct manner, in the correct fashion, it's going to keep happening. Let's break it down, right? So the world is ran and governed, right, by your belief system, right? Your perception of reality, right? Your world is different than my world. What's different? Our belief system, right? Our view, right? Our perception, our belief on what's wrong, what's right, what makes sense, what doesn't, our biases, right? When we're biased, we believe something holds more weight than something else, right? So think about it. Our brain is a constant. It's this mechanism that's constantly scanning probabilities, right? Oh, I'm late to work. I can go this way, or this way. Which way is the quickest? Oh, well, it's Tuesday, so maybe I shouldn't go this way because there's traffic. Oh, well, the ice cream truck usually is coming that way. Oh, there's a cop right there, so I'm not going to go that way. Your brain is constantly scanning. What's the best probability? What's the best scenario? I don't care if it's in the market. I don't care if you're picking a line at the grocery mart. It doesn't matter. Your brain is constantly making calculations, right? We have all these decisions to make, right? And your brain's constantly calculating which one makes sense, which one's better, right? So, Josh, why are you saying all this? Because when you view the market, right, as a game that you have to be right in, you're going to lose every single time. You're going to try to gather so much evidence for why you're getting in a setup, why you're getting out of a setup, right? You're going to try to gather so much market information, material, analysis, whatever you want to call it, to justify your entry, right? And now this is the thing. The more you care, right, the more attached you are to the outcome, right? Because it's crazy. I've been broke, but I would still let the market take unnecessary losses from me because I didn't want to eat the ego loss, right? I didn't want to take the L, right? I didn't want to admit that my analysis was wrong. And this is the thing, your analysis is never wrong. You were just at the wrong time. The market was just feeding information, and you didn't even calculate it wrong. See, this game has absolutely no certainty to it. The only thing certain is in this game is that the outcome is uncertain. It's the biggest paradox in the world. But that's what makes it so beautiful. And when you could stop looking at that as a negative, your superpower kicks in. So many traders come to me asking me about profitability, right? It's a question I asked myself for, about 4 years. 4.5 years it took me to start seeing somewhat consistent results, right? And this is the thing. I didn't become smarter, right? I didn't figure out the golden strategy underneath the sun. I became aware to the fact that I don't need to be right to make money, right? Mark Douglas taught me this, right? In his books, Disciplined Trader, and Trading in the Zone. But this is the thing. I read those books over and over, front to back, and still didn't execute properly. I was still trying to be right. It's so crazy because you can sit here and read something, believe something, think something over and over. But when it comes down to that moment, right, and you just want to make money today, and you'll sacrifice every rule or every stipulation or principle you've learned just to feel that feeling that you did good today, right? That all that hard work has paid off today, right? You'll sacrifice all of it for chance. And that same sacrifice is where you lose it every single time. Every single time. So you have to reach the point, guys. You have to come to the conclusion where you're not trading to be right. You're trading to make money. And here's another paradox. To make money, you have to be able to lose money. Right? Think about it. I was in a trade today. Right? I was long on SPX. And market was moving in my favor. Theta, right? Anyone that trades 0-day XPX cons, you guys know that the closer you get to the end of the day, the more your your premiums are going to diminish in value, right? So I'm holding longs here, and my contracts are slightly out of the money, so I'm not getting the return that I really want, right? But the market's still moving in my direction, so I don't want to let go of it, right? So when the market does a pullback like this, and you're in an SPX contract, you have to make a decision. Right here, you actually have to make a decision, right? You have to be like, okay, I'm in this long, and I want to see if this trade's going to go my way, right? I'm in this long. So the way my strategy works is my stop loss must be outside this EMA cloud, right? Because trends, generally, right, continue to move in the same direction. That's a higher probability scenario, right? So I want to keep my stop outside this cloud. But this is the thing. It's 0-day SPX contracts, and I know that pullback's going to cost me at least 30%. Right? So I'm up around 30% on my trade right here. So I'm accepting the fact that if I want to continue to hold this trade, I have to let my profits go. There's a chance that may happen. So for me to make money and hit my take profit, which was right here, I had to be okay with losing my money, losing my winnings, or whatever you want to call it. Right? Rolling the dice. Right? Putting my stop loss at a spot where I could break even. I have to be okay with that. To make money in this game, you have to be able to lose money. You have to be okay with losing it. Right? It's so important, guys. Right? And I'm gonna wrap this up with this game is not about being right. I heard this saying one time and it stuck with me. Right? And I'm gonna give it to you guys. Do you want to be right or do you want to be rich? Right? Because to become rich in this game, you have to be able to let go of your losses, right? You have to be able to risk your winners, right? You have to be able to risk your ego, right? You have to be able to take the L, take the loss, and go, okay, did I stick to my plan? Right? Did I follow my strategy properly? You have to become so process-oriented, so systematic, right? Where you know at the end of the day, yeah, you lost money, but you followed your process to a T. That's all you got. Your system, your process, your principles is all you have, right? So maybe you're watching this video, right? Maybe you're like, this guy's nuts, or maybe you're like, he's onto something. It doesn't matter to me, right? But guys, if you get anything from this, please learn to treat this game differently. You do not need to be right to come out on top, right? If your strategy isn't working, ask yourself, am I actually executing it properly? Over the last 30 days, have I really executed my edge perfectly? And if you can say, yes, I have, then you're probably the problem, right? Because there's literally probably 1% of traders I know actually execute their strategy perfectly, right? Maybe it's not the strategy. Maybe it's not the market. Maybe it's you, right? So guys, this game, it's not for everybody. I've realized that. It's not easy by any means. But we have to come to the point and ask ourselves sooner or later, right? What am I trying to do here? Am I actually trying to become profitable? And if so, what if it is me? What if I am viewing it in the wrong lens? What if that's all it took, right? A change in perspective for me to actually start getting the results that I want, right? What if realizing, right, that I don't need to be right to make money is the golden edge, the golden strategy, right, that I've been searching for, right? Maybe at the end of the day, just a slight change in our perspective, in our behavior, in our beliefs can really change our whole life. I really want you guys to think about it, right? And if you guys have any feedback, drop them in the comments below, right? Make sure you hit a like, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. And until next time, stay blessed.